All right, y'all. Here we go, man. We into the nonsense today, man. We into the nonsense. This is Big Mike, Almighty Triple XL, the Fat Maxter, coming at y'all live and direct. Max City Limits Radio Show, MaxCity.com. Uh, got a special guest for y'all today, man. Y'all ain't heard from my partner in a minute, man. He hit me up. It must be like meant to be, man. It must be fate. That's what it must be because while I was on my laptop, I was about to fire it up and do a show. And I got a text message from the player partner, man, Pharaoh Edmondson. Pharaoh's back in the game. Pharaoh hit me up, man, and I had no idea that he was gonna speak on a certain topic, man. And it's just ironic that I was about to fire up the laptop and fire up my software, and I was about to speak on the same topic. So when he got on and he started, telling me his thoughts about what was going on about this particular topic, I'm like, whoa, 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 let's not waste it, partner. Let's not waste it. Let's go ahead, let's fire it on up, and let's get it on the record, man. So, hey, before we get into the topic, man, hey, how you been, Pharaoh, man? What's going on with you?
Oh man, I've been doing well, Shout out to all the Max City players, man. Shout out to Isa Ali, Vector, Goku, and man, and if I miss your name, yeah, y'all know who y'all are, man. You know the regulars, man. And thanks for anybody that's listening to the show. I've been out here just driving. I'm on my way to Minnesota now. I'm in Wisconsin, which one of the states is being, investigated on. But let's get this topic rolling, man. It's a lot to unpack, man.
All right. Well, pretty much people should already know what the topic is because I'm going to basically title the podcast so they can pretty much deduce what the topic is from the title of the podcast. I'm just at a loss for words, man. We're going to talk about this election, man. We're going to talk about this travesty of goddamn justice, man. This most weird, bizarre shit ever, man. To me, it's funny how two people can look at the same person or the same situation or the same scenario and get two totally different perspectives on it, man. It is just mind-boggling, right? Because I am of the mindset that the election was stolen from Donald Trump, and I'm just flabbergasted and I'm just tripping how other people can look at it and don't see that it was stolen. You know what I mean? It's like I don't understand. It makes me call into question your IQ or just your integrity. I would actually respect you more if you just said, look, I hate Trump so much that I'm cool with the Democrats and the liberals stealing this shit. You know what I mean? I'm cool with it. I would respect you more if you just did that. Because I got a couple partners out there that, believe it or not, I have liberal partners, you know what I mean? And they cool with the fact that it was stolen. And they acknowledge the fact that it was stolen. You know what I'm saying? But then you got other people that they're like just acting like they're totally oblivious to the bullshit games that was being played. I don't know. What is your thoughts on the issue, man?
Man, it just shows how far as we become in America. I mean, it's funny that I'm listening online, especially on Facebook, which that's liberal as hell and feminist. But so while they sitting over talking about, well, we divided and we need to come together, and they put you against Trump and all this stuff. And my thing is that, hey, if Trump is not your ideal president, okay, that's fine. But don't try to sit over here and try to play this divide and unity based on your own beliefs, based on your own BS. My thing is that it's sitting right in your faces, right in front of your faces. I'm sitting over here looking at the numbers, right?
Right.
And I was on panels like Angry Man is freaking pissed, man.
Oh, man. Hey.
Like, man.
Yeah, shout out, salute to Angry Man. He is doing a masterful job, doing brilliant work.
Oh, yeah.
With this political shit, man.
Oh, he is, and he's down to the bone with it, man. We have other players in the manosphere that's doing the whole election watch, and my thing is, I already knew the key states he needed to win.
Right.
And everybody else kind of already knew as well, which was the battleground states, which is the ones that he put litigations on. North Carolina, Pennsylvania. And I live in this state, in the city, Georgia, out of all places. Now, that one was kind of eye-opener for me, but also Wisconsin and Michigan. And Florida, but he already had that. My thing is, he knew he couldn't cheat at Florida, because Florida, believe it or not, because I'm also stationed out of there as well, out of Tampa. My thing is, I told people, I'm like, nah. I'm like, if you go in towns like Lake City, Gainesville, you know, all over Central Florida in between, I'm like, dude, their population is 3 times as much, if you want to say Jacksonville, Tampa, and Miami, and Tallahassee. I'm like, and plus, I'm like, I can remember in Florida in 2016, that was red in that district.
Okay.
And somehow it became blue because, you know, Andrew Gilliam is out of Jacksonville, Florida, the one who was running for the mayor down there. So I'm looking at it, and you know, he ended up getting Florida, and then Georgia, because I'm looking also at the Senate and the congressmen. And when it flipped, first thing that I thought that was odd is that the polls were supposed to be closed, but somehow at 4 a.m. in the morning, like Tuesday, not Tuesday, Wednesday, when Michigan, he was up, Biden was up 200,000.
Right.
When Trump was, and I was like, that was at 4 a.m. I was up all the way to 4 a.m. in the morning, and I went to sleep. I woke up at 7. He had to leave. I was like, wait, I thought the polls were closed.
Right.
That was the first thing that caught my eyes. And I was like, and before, I'm like, the Electoral College was already, like, called for the states that he needed to win. I'm like, all you had to do was look at the congressmen who all won in their district.
Okay.
Like, Republicans wiped the floor with the Democrats. You still got Democrats losing seats right now.
Right.
House.
Okay.
So I'm like, wow. And people say that, you shouldn't use the word steal because that just shows. I'm like, nah, they can kind of use steal because I'm like, the Electoral College was already called. And my thing was that I thought it could all been called like within the month of November. Apparently it's supposed to be the final decision by Electoral be made December 8th through the 14th, something like that. So my thing is I got my dates mixed up. So I'm like, in 2-3, the media cannot call the election, folks. Like, god damn.
Okay, that's my question. My question is this: who officially calls the election? Who does that?
They said the Congress, but it was the Senate, so they said they can call it.
Okay.
But when you do the electoral colleges, they are actually the ones who choose who the president is. That's why when I tell people your actual state and your district is just way more important than the actual presidential election. See, and Tony said this, people tend to try to vote during the primaries, but they really don't give a fuck about, you know, the senators and them, and the House of Representatives, the district. They don't tend to care about them because I guess people just vote for whoever, or they just don't vote at all. So these people end up getting sent to office with nobody interest in mind.
Okay, well, check this out.
That black people have go ahead.
Well, this is what I want to know, though. I mean, so are y'all saying that the media is not getting the accused to basically call the election from the Senate? Because you're saying who called who's. Yeah,
they know the media knows what's going on because a lot of them are far leftists. So they understand. They know who gets to call the election. That's why I say it's a wool over people's eyes, and it's falling all over again. It is very rare that a president would sit over here, win the popular votes, and win the election. That's very rare. So it's either sometimes you already know it's one or the other. Just like in 2016, when Hillary was up and she was going to win the popular votes as well. But how did that turn out? The Electoral College got Trump in. That's why I said it's 2016 all over again. The difference is that they sat over here, and I believe with those numbers, those look like population votes that was crept in to make it seem like the Electoral College chose it. That's what it looks like. And I keep telling people, and KRS-One did an interview, and he said the same thing. He was like, y'all are so dumb. Like, stop thinking that the population votes puts the presidency in. No, they are two separate. And that's why I was like, when the numbers kept on climbing, I was like, wait a second, how these numbers keep on growing? I'm like, the Electoral College already, like, it already spoken.
Okay.
The senators and them already, the race was already done. So that's the thing. That's my thing was, I was like, wow, but people going to find out when it gets sent to the Supreme Court and stuff. And
yeah, I was, man, my jaw dropped, man, when I woke up Wednesday. And I seen, I was on Wisconsin and Michigan, and I was just like, because I was feeling good. I like, we got them joints in the bag. Then I wake up, and I'm like, wait a minute, man. I was like, no, come on, cuz. I'm like, man, there's some chicanery in this joint, man. You know, and then, man, hey, check it out, y'all. Hey, politics is not really my bag, man, you know, as far as the intricacies and all that shit, man. But I mean, come on, man. I mean, you ain't got to be no genius to see what the fix is in, man. Because I was tripping off what they did with Arizona. I was like, wait a second now. I seen how quick they called Arizona, and I was like, but you didn't call Wisconsin and Michigan? But I don't get it. I'm like, come on, man. It's obvious.
I was like, it was like 80-something percent, like 84, 83 when they called it for him. I was like, well, wait a second, whoa. And I was like, but you didn't, and you called it Michigan, and then for what's there? But see, they extended that further. And it's the same thing with the out west, Washington, California, and Oregon. We didn't see that. That was all gray. And then we woke up and it was automatically blue. We didn't even get to see the districts and everything that was won. I was like, wow. We woke up and that shit was just straight up blue. And I was like, everything, because I remember it, like, before I went to, it was gray. And I was, but I already thought, I was like, Biden gonna get them states anyway, because Washington is liberal as hell.
Right.
Oregon is liberal as hell, and so is California. So it's this thing where people going around saying, well, California is the high cost of living. They're moving to like Arizona or to Texas, and that's how these states are becoming blue and stuff. I told them I beg to differ that if you leave from a city and a state that was Democratic ran in that district, a lot of them been ran to the ground. If you any city that you go with that Democratic ran, I'm sorry to say, but it's been ran to the ground.
Yeah.
Squalor. That's why your cities are being gentrified and Democrats letting it happen. People notice in their heart of hearts. They notice. So when they leave, do you really think they're going to vote the same way that they did the city that they left?
I sure would.
Or to these other cities?
Right. No, I wouldn't.
So, yeah, exactly. They don't. And shout out to Ty City. He's in the manosphere. He said the same thing. The people that come from L.A., that goes into Texas, especially Dallas, they don't tend to vote Democrat there. They do a one whole 360, and they vote for Republican, you know, for the Congress, for their district, and for the governor. I'm sorry to say, but that is true. You can ask numerous of people, they would tell you the same thing. It's oxymoron that you will sit over here and you seen Democrat ran just demolish your city, and you go to another city and just vote the same way. That's oxymoron. That's a lot of cognitive dissonance in that. So people who make that argument that you liberals leave certain states and they come in and that's why it's blue, no, that's not. They tend to vote a whole 360 way. They tend to change parties. And now they may, on the grand scheme primaries, may vote blue or whoever, but those are popularity votes. They don't count anyway. It's all about your sector. And I've always said, I'm like, people still do not know what electoral college means. Even after the 2016 election, I still don't get it.
Yeah, and this is, of course, what they count on, man, because, I mean, brother, I can't even sit back and tell you what the biggest slap in the face is about all of this not electoral, but this election. I'm just gonna say fraud, man. Fuck it, man. It's I'm like, damn, is it because dig, I was looking at Pennsylvania, and this is odd about Pennsylvania, man. This is the same spot, the same state that railroaded Bill Cosby, man. You know what I'm saying? So when what they did with Bill Cosby when he went to court, and there was all sorts of evidence that would exonerate Bill Cosby, and I thought to myself, there's no way that none of this shit is going to stick when they go to court in Pennsylvania. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Lo and behold, he go to court, and man, all of the just horrible things that could happen to a brother, happen to a black man in court, happened, man. They just threw out everything that would exonerate him, and they elevated, and they looked at everything that was questionable, that was for the prosecution. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, wow, there's something going on in PA, man. If you really want to go ahead and you want to subvert any sort of justice, man, take your ass to PA, man, because I'm thinking to myself, this is going to be a repeat of the Cosby joint, man. I'm thinking Trump has a lot of, well, what's the word I'm looking for, man? He's got a lot of rhythm as far as the bad shit that he's collected, you know, as far as the evidence is concerned, as far as the liberals doing this bullshit to him, you know what I mean? And I'm just hoping that shit, man. I got that buckwheat bad this morning, boy. I got that buckwheat bad this morning, man. Yeah, I'm just hoping that the injustice that befell Cosby doesn't bleed over on Trump, man, because it looks like the fix might be in. I'm thinking to myself, how the hell do you actually not allow people to go in and, you know, as far as the poll watchers are concerned, how do you not allow them to come in and watch? And then you get a court order to give to the people to say, look, we're allowed to come in here and watch, and they still tell you to go screw yourself. And then you call the law while you are in PA, and you tell the sheriff, hey, look, we have paperwork here that allows us to come down here and look at what's going on. And he tells you, go kick rocks. I'm not coming down there. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what? I'm like, what is going on here? And then you got liberal assholes out here that act like that's not questionable behavior. I'm like, that to me, that's a little questionable. That kind of sounds like guilt. That kind of sounds like someone's hiding something to me, you know, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy.
That's why I was saying that this is going to be the true divide. People keep saying that it's going to be a race war through because of Trump crybabies and they white boys is going to be out shooting and stuff.
Right.
Which I just left Indiana. They already started shooting, but the thing is, it wasn't because of races. It would just be what you just said. You literally got caught with your pants down, and that's what's going to be the true divide. So my thing is that, and I also wanted to say, I'm having a little buckwheat moment.
Boy. Shoot, boy. It's that Biden. You're going to have to rename it to the Biden.
But I gathered my thoughts, though. But my whole thing is that when you look at a lot of, especially the rallies, that's why I was looking at, I seen that Biden barely had people coming.
Yeah.
And then Trump, you know, it was like hundreds, sometimes thousands of people out there. So So, and then another number is that they will say that Biden made history because he had more freaking what was like 70 votes, 70 million votes voted his way.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, bro, ain't no way in hell you had literally double the votes than Obama in 2008. You was a goddamn fool.
Right.
Y'all believe that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, it was due because of COVID and nobody had no. I'm like, due because of COVID. I'm like, people didn't even. I mean, if you want to say due because of COVID, and I guess that's the scapegoat because people talking about they ain't have nothing to do with COVID. But I also think that there's also a word out there that is dead people voting.
Right.
People who sat right there got their ballots and they're no longer living, and those got counted. So my thing is, it's a lot of this whole election, and the funny thing is, Roger Stone, he predicted this. There's a video out there on YouTube that Roger Stone actually predicted that this would actually happen, and he predicted that it was going to go down. It's just like, and you know what? How this situation reminds me of?
What?
Reminds me of the 2000 election when Al Gore did the same shit to George Bush Jr.
Yeah, I remember that.
They granted him the win, and guess what? They took a Supreme Court, and guess who won by the landslide? Bush Jr.
Mm-hmm. W.
That's why also as well, Amy Barrett, the one who they appointed in Supreme Court.
Yeah.
That's why I said it was really the fix was in. But see, I think Trump knew. That's why they got her there, because she was part of that case in the 2000 Gore and Bush. She was part of that.
Oh, really?
That's why they got her in a... Yeah, go look it up. Yes, Amy Barrett.
Okay.
Connected with that whole thing. That's why I said the fix was in. You on to something. The fix was already in, but I think Trump was smart enough, and he took precautions. I think Trump knew he was going to take this to court the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
He knew it was going to happen. That's why he rushed out there and got those litigations. They knew it was about to happen. So people talking about, well, stop the vote. Why is he stopping the vote? Because it's not going his way. No, he said stop the vote because the Electoral College done already made it official.
Mm-hmm. Man, boy.
Votes that y'all counting is more like popularity votes.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all making that seem like that's in the Electoral College. No, your congressmen have spoken. I'm sorry.
Man.
And my thing is that it's still going on, but the Republicans, they will take the Senate again. Mitch McConnell will be the head of that Senate again.
Right.
And guess what? If it goes to Supreme, and I guess people sitting over here talking about Biden, all he has to do is add 2 more. I'm like, no, because the Senate is there. That's gonna be out the way. McConnell gonna throw that out. Like without y'all getting the Senate, Biden is a sitting duck. Okay. Even though he got the House, and the House is gonna lose power. Dog, they lost, bro. I'm sitting over here looking at these seats that's being off, or Republicans kicking their ass out of these seats, man.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm looking at. So that whole thing that Biden gets there, and let's say hypothetically speaking, Biden gets in there. One, you already dealing with a deranged economy. The economy is already into shit.
Okay.
Automation that already been building, and it's going to be built even more, especially if you think about bringing high taxes. That's going to, corporations, that's going to give them more of a motive to speed automation up, because they be like, well, shit, if we pay high taxes, we laid these people off.
Right.
Have these robots up in here, and you spend, that's why I say that Trump actually was the one who slowed automation down.
Mm-hmm.
Because guess what? You lower the taxes, guess what? They can actually afford to sit over here and pay the employees. See, people don't understand how that works. You do high taxes, guess what? That's a legality, and that's a workload for corporation. Yes, you may say they make a lot of money, but guess what? They got to dish out a lot of money as well.
Mm-hmm.
They dish out money for advertising. They dish out a lot of money for employees, workers' comp, insurance, for matching 401k. See, people who sit over and talks about it have never even been in business before.
Right, exactly.
So my thing is, there's different factors and different sides. See, what people really want to see, man, I think people want to just see chaos. People talking about this unity and stuff. Nah, y'all really want to see chaos. because it's something for y'all to talk about. But see, if this chaos is not going to be the right chaos, man, because if it ends up becoming like this, and black folks sitting over here talking about white people ain't about that life, okay, nigga, please, white folks will. Let me not go there.
Hey, Dig, but check it out. Did you see the accusation? It's not really an accusation now. It would appear to be fact that there is a software out there called Hammer and Scorecard, and this is the software that they were using to tabulate votes. And they found that the software that was being used would automatically flip votes over to Biden if they were labeled Trump. I think they found 6,000 ballots that were automatically flipped over to Biden. I think it was in Michigan that this happened.
Yeah,
but
I've heard about that too. And on BGS video, he named, it was a book on there where they said actual electronic voting is actually the most dangerous voting because because they say you can actually rig that than you can with a mail-in. Because I've overheard that somebody that Trump sent a special ballot for this because they knew that this was going to happen, and so either that's like you said, that Hammer software. That's that. I wouldn't be surprised if they get that, and that ends up becoming shine a light into that. Because now what you're finna see is that the other side has been playing a dirty game. And my thing is that, well, he cheated back in 2016, but I'm like, y'all didn't have proof of that too. Y'all said Russia interference. I'm like, that had to be like the dumbest accusation that I've ever heard.
But this is the irony of it, though. They believe that Russia back then interfered in the election. They believe that. But they don't believe that we have interference in this election right now on home soil.
Yeah, which is much more evident.
Yeah, with 10 times the evidence.
Much more evidence.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, so right about now, it's more so about, their ego and their feelings and the popularity contest. Once again, I tell you, I got partners that just basically say, yeah, we stole it. I know we stole it, and I'm good with it. But versus you got other people out there for some strange reason, man. They walking around with a clean conscience, just like we didn't steal it. I'm like, are you serious? But like I said, this is the same people that thought Trump had some sort of Russian collusion last election. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, all right, man. And on that same note, it's funny, man, to see how I don't know, man, how people's attitudes change towards you, man. Because I done told 3 or 4 folks, man, to kick rocks, man, as far as I don't really have that mindset where if we're having a political conversation, I'm going to tell you I'm not going to talk to you no more because you rock with this candidate or that candidate. That's more so people on the left, because I don't really take it that goddamn serious, man. You know what I mean? The only time I'll do that is if you're trolling me. I have like 2 white dudes, man, that I used to work with, and they're like super liberal. You know what I mean? You know what Malcolm X said about them liberal niggas, man. You know what I mean? Like, they just, they always like, on my timeline, man, trying to save me and trying to educate me. And I'm like, man, you can't hold a candle to the depth of research that I've done on half the topics you coming in here trying to speak on to me, man. Like, I had to cuss one of them out the other day because I was basically talking about all the evidence that was going into the fraud. And all he would do, he would just come on my timeline and post videos where Trump, what did Trump say? It was a soundbite that the liberals always used to, they always like to use about him saying he could shoot someone dead in the streets and they would still love me or some shit. Are you familiar with that? Yeah. So he was trying to say that I was part of a cult or some shit. I'm like, no, I'm a boss, nigga, and bosses run with bosses. That's all that is. I'm like, shit, just because you pussy, you know what I'm saying? And then we got into it and shit. We got into it. And then I had to tell about it just because I see traits that I find admirable in this cat. Don't mean that I'm in no cult. And then I had to get low on him, I guess, because he's into the martial arts. And man, I don't know if you're familiar with ninjutsu, but there's this cat named
It just yeah.
uh, uh, Masaki Hasumi. And I was like, so using your thought process, the man who you study under, who you studied under ever since I've known you, is a cult leader, and you're in a cult. I like, there's a lot more evidence to suggest that you're in a cult than I am. I like, shit, I just started actually being cool with Trump in the last 6 months. You've been riding Masaki Asumi's dick for like 20 years, man. And then he got pissed. I'm like, yeah, how you like that, bitch? Mm. You're like, that's not the same. I'm like, yeah, it is. Like, you gonna come over here and tell me I'm in a cult just because I see voter fraud? Man, you better get the... I'm cursing. I told myself I was gonna limit the curse words. But anyway, yeah, man, these people, they killing me, man. But yeah, I'm not necessarily... I want everybody to know, because yeah, it should be obvious that I fucks with Trump, man. And if you fuck with Biden, I mean, I've heard that there's cats out here that fuck with Biden. I'm not gonna cut you off and tell you I don't fuck with you no more and all that kind of thing. It ain't that deep to me, dog. You know what I mean? You know, do you, if you see things in Biden, if you won't higher taxes, if you won't higher gas prices, you know what I'm saying? If you want this man who's obviously
Higher
in bed, yeah, if you want higher incarceration, if you want someone who's definitely colluding with China on some shit, you know, then Biden's your man.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going through your head. I don't know what's important to you. That shit might be important to you. You know what I mean? Shit. So hey, do you? You know what I mean? But hey, but like I said, I got a couple partners that they just say flat out, yeah, we stole that shit. And I can't figure out for the life of me, like why do you fuck with Biden, man? You know the same shit that I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But for some reason, they just don't like Trump, man. I'm like, you watch too much TV, nigga.
And that's the thing, man. I was like, you got people saying, well, I ain't with for Biden, but I'm trying to get Cheeto face up out of there, so I'm just gonna vote for him. I'm like, what type of logic is that? You gonna vote for one who you call a sycophant for another worse a sycophant? I'm like, that doesn't. I was like, obviously, and we've done numerous of panels. And I've been on YouTube. I was like, y'all will forgive Biden, but y'all won't forgive black men for whatever reason what we have done. I'm like, that man, that 1994 crime bill literally tore black men's asses, man. I'm like, that free-strike rule. I'm like, if you look at Kamala Harris' record of what she did, and I'm like, and black women, you are not safe too, because I'm gonna say it like this. This is who called Kamala Harris. She already claimed that she wasn't black.
Right.
That was a slap in y'all face. She was talking about South Asian and all that, and Indian and all that crap. And my thing is, one, if you're not a sorority or a part of that bougie circle, she for everyday working woman, man, she don't rock with you on some real shit.
Right.
She's an AKA, and really like that, man, she just did that for networking purposes. My thing is, I've seen many Kamalas like that. Women that's like Kamala, they don't really rock with you, want to rock with you like that. And the fact that y'all don't see this is going to bite y'all in the behinds, man. Black folks, man. And this whole thing about, well, Trump is here, they killing black men. They was killing black men when Obama was in office. As a matter of fact, Obama didn't even administer freaking legislation for the police to wear body cams. He didn't administrate no legislation for them to wear body cams.
Right.
So they were sitting over here. I'm like, Tamir Rice, Mike Brown out of Ferguson, Freddie Gray. That all happened under Obama administration. Even though they forgot about that, I said it don't even matter what presidency in office. Democrats and Republicans, we've always said they are the same flip side of the coin. They are both neoliberals.
Okay.
They're both neoliberals. So, I mean, my thing is that when you talk about police brutality, I'm like, man, that has nothing nothing to do. I'm outside. I beg to differ that it's probably gonna be worse. I'm like, black men, they coming for your ass.
Mm-hmm.
They happen to get up in office. You niggas is screwed, but we already know why most black men fucking voted for them, man. They're thinking they finna get the Section 8s and all that shit all over again. They can stay under a bitch, so they can get the free ride. My thing is, you're not gonna get that anyway because they was cutting those taxes. They was cutting those social entitlement programs towards the tail end of Obama's administration.
Right.
So why? Because that thing costs money. That costs. And that's a big bill that the country can't even flip. We already trillions of dollars in debt. Like, you're not going to get those same expenditures, social entitlement programs as you thought, or as you think that you're going to get in Congress. I mean, with Biden. And the fact is that you guys got it because when Obama got in, they had a full house. They took the House and they took the Senate, and they had the presidency, and they had majority of the people in Supreme Court. That's why they got a lot of shit passed.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason. Gay marriage, all that other shit got passed, dude, because they had a majority Democratic party that took the legislature, the executive, and the judicial branch. Well, what happens when you have that little wedge where it's now split? Now you got the Republicans, like I said, they will take that. They will take Senate. It don't even matter. The fate is already sealed. So they will take that Senate, and the House is slowly going down. You losing seats, and they already got majority 5-4 in judiciary. I'm like, it's a wrap. Trump, and let's say if you got Trump up out of this, Trump already did what needed to be done. He flipped the judicial, and the Senate is there. Biden is a sitting duck. He's a sitting duck.
Shoot. Have you heard about the alleged sting operation that Trump has actually been conducting as far as against the liberals in this election about the ballots with the watermarks?
I haven't heard about that. Can you go in detail what they doing with that? The sting?
There's really not much on it. It's just I've been hearing, and of course, got to take this with a grain of salt because I heard it on quote unquote Alex Jones. So what I had heard was Trump knew what was going to happen months in advance as far as them trying to steal the election with the ballots. So they have ballots that have secret watermarks on them to make them official. So you just can't go off and print other ballots that are not official. So he says that if they get caught using ballots that don't have this official watermark, then that would be proof of voter fraud. And he said that there's litigation and there's going to be arrests and there's already stuff that's going on behind the scenes that we just don't know about because of course, the mainstream media won't cover the stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so
a lot of them anti-Trump.
Yeah,
far leftists. Go ahead.
So far, all we know, there might be some stuff going on in our favor behind the scenes, but we would never know because the media would never cover it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yet still, that's just wishful thinking right now because there's nothing to actually really corroborate it. You know what I mean? But yeah, there's supposed to be a secret clandestine sting operation by Trump to actually throw these people in prison. You know what I mean? For the voter fraud. I'm like, well, we'll see about that. You know, oh my God, man, just the irritation of these people. Like I'm driving down the street, man, and people are like honking their horns and celebrating, and I'm like, you motherfuckers, man. And this was the funny thing, man. Like, I'm driving past, like, since Trump been in office, man, the gas prices have been Gucci, man. The gas prices have been beautiful, man. And then there was just some bubblehead bitch, man, that she had stopped at the gas station with me. And, I think our gas here is, like, at $1.90 or something. You know what I mean? Which is phenomenal, you know what I mean, as far as what it's usually been. It's usually up in the $3 $4 and shit. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay. And she honking her
Mm-hmm.
horn, Biden, Biden. I'm like, bitch. I just wanted to just say, just get ready for the $4 gallon of gas, bitch. That's what you do. While you over here, screaming about Kamala Harris and Biden, you simple minded ass heifer. I'm like, good God, man. These motherfuckers can't think their way out of a wet paper bag, man. I think it just basically come down to IQ. It just come down to IQ, man, because, like Angry Man said so eloquently, I had to piggyback off him. It's like people are basically voting for individuals just because they don't like the other individual. The other
Right.
choice. And they don't even know the the policies of the individuals that they're actually voting for. And so that's what we have here. We have a nation full of folks, especially black folks. Black folks are really good for this, man. Really
Mm-hmm.
emotional. Can't think they will have a wet paper bag, man, but they're gonna vote for somebody who has incarcerated their black ass. You know what I mean? Gonna raise prices on gas, gonna raise taxes, gonna make sure that you ain't got no job, put your ass back on the plantation, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, and you got niggas cheering about it, clapping their hands, and I'm like, God damn, man, where do I get off of this planet, man? I need to step up off of here because I don't belong here, man. I don't belong with these idiots,
Mm-hmm.
bruh. For real.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Shit.
And my whole thing is that man. Speaking of gas prices too, man. When Corona hit, man, I'm sitting over here driving, bruh. Gas got down to almost $1.20.
Mm-hmm.
I
Man.
was like, I can't even remember them prices since I was a chick, man. Because I was
Right.
like, I know during '90s it was like 99, 98 cents,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of grew because of inflation. But I was like, man, I can't even remember seeing no price ever since I had a license, man. So I'm
Right.
like, whoa. And plus, I drive a Benz, so I'm like, guys, if you think y'all finna raise this gas to $3 to $4, some change the
Mm-hmm.
gallon. I'm sorry, that's just about to be my weekend car. So
Real.
I'm like, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man. But see, people. I said this the other day. I said when you look at presidency and you look at each president has they have a strength and they have a weakness.
Right.
Not every president is solid all the way around. Like I said with Obama, okay, people argue with Obamacare, even though it was expensive for others, it was cheap. The Housing Act and stuff, the way, he had the feds going off the Operation Stolen Dreams, where you had homes with these high-ass interest rates and everything else. So my thing is, and he also eliminated the mortgage insurance and stuff. So I guess it benefits certain people and stuff, but, Obama came out of law, so that was more of his thing. He knew how to, mitigate that. But he was weak as hell in foreign policy. He was very weak as hell in foreign policy. Then you got Trump.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is that, yeah, he didn't come from law, but this is a businessman. That's why foreign policy was so important. Black people don't even care about it. They don't even know what's going on with China and stuff. I was like, I embrace what he did with China. I was like, y'all literally do not know, bro. If you literally in the Democrat, I'm like, y'all was literally going to give the keys to China, literally.
Right.
And they sitting over here already building infrastructure in Africa, and they finna run that.
Yep.
And I'm like, y'all finna give the keys to them, and they finna run it here? Man, shit. I'm like, that's why I said, and my thing is, I'm not a Republican nor a Democrat. I'm an independent, and I'm pragmatic.
Right.
That's what we do here,
Same
man.
here.
We're pragmatic with our thinking. We pull from every other end. So my thing, when you start talking, and that's all people do is talk emotionalism. When you start talking emotionalism, you already lost. You don't even have your eyes set on the main prize. My thing is, it really pissed me off when Democrats shunned away Ice Cube when he actually had a plan.
Mm-hmm.
They got mad when he sat at the table with Donald Trump, and
Right.
he wasn't even a Republican. Ice Cube.
Right.
He said Trump he had to hear what I had to say. But people get mad. That's why I said the gynocracy. The gynocracy, if you don't know anything that the black community is not gynocracy and a matriarch, it shows it in your face. It showed it in your face with Snoop Dogg when people was going after Kobe Bryant because he was getting his money, he was giving his money and legacy away to a Latina, knowing good and well that black women didn't even fuck with him like that. So that's slick dick police, and we had a conversation about that as well. So I'm like, at this whole time, this whole thing about building this stuff, I say, nah, what it is that you just you think you control black men. Just like this woman down in Florida, Pam Keith, who I'm glad she lost, sitting over talking about the 20%. Oh, and check this out, and I know Tony going to harp on this.
Okay.
She said a black man voted for Trump. Yes, that number went up 8%.
Okay. Shit,
so
that's what's
what
up.
We looked at that. I was like, I said, black men are actually looking at what's going on. Because it's a dude's channel I want you to follow, too. His name is Dr. Ronald Neal.
Okay.
Shout out to him. He talks about black male independence, BMI. So you're going to start seeing a lot of hashtag BMI down the near future. I just want you to, when you see it, he's the grandfather of this. And he talks about what black men need to detox from the matriarch gynocrat in the black community. When you vote, black man, you vote on your best interest, no matter who it is. If it's third party, if it's Green Party, if it's Constitutional Party, whoever it is. And my thing is, shout out to Dennis Sperling. He said the same thing. And he even said it he said, hey, man, Trump get his ass up in there. He said, and black men were the reason, even though we in small numbers, but whatever people, because they don't blame us, because they seen that 20% went to Trump.
Yeah.
Black men, they going to blame us. And I told him, I said, I'm fine with that, because guess what? You just literally showed that you made a difference. You just literally showed, because I thought black men was talking this shit online, and they was just going 100% vote Democrat. Man, 20%, and the black women, I think it was like 13% or around that part, went to Trump as well.
Okay.
But nobody ain't talking about them, though. But they focusing on black men.
Shoot.
They focusing on black men. Y'all not talking about the 55%, which was actually 4% more, I think 3 or 4% more than 2016 white women voted for Trump. That showed that white women never left his side.
Okay.
Matter of fact, he got a little bit more votes for them. But black feminists not going after them, but you already know why. You get your bread and butter. When they tell you to shut up, you need to shut up.
Okay.
You're not going to go after them.
Shit.
So my whole thing is that it's disingenuous. And that Pam Keith chick who was running for a house down there in Florida, I was like, man, if that does not show you that black men, that women think that they own you, bruh, that shows that because of who you vote. See, that shows that they don't want you to have any type of independence of who you vote. Even with my mother, I sat right here and I told her, I was like, I voted for Joe Jurgensen. When I at the primary, but my thing is I'm independent because I'm like, I hear what both sides have to say. See, when you start doing stuff with party and stuff, and this is how Democrats know that they got you. That's how they can run games around you. Knowing that they're not good for you, knowing that they don't have your best interest at heart, knowing that they don't have anything tangible coming on your way, they know that you're going to vote for them regardless because you see that the other side is just filled with hate. So you saying there's hate coming on, they say with the all right and all that. Okay, I understand, but you indulging in the same behavior as well with the hate. So my thing is that I say no. I pull from both sides. And I sat and I told my mom, I was like, are you anti-conservative or anti-Republican? And she said, well, I'm anti-both. And I was like, and I should have hammered on her because we was talking about other things, but I'm like, okay, Mom, you can marry. I don't know if you know this, but marriage is a conservative view.
Right.
So everybody that's sitting over here copping for marriage, like everybody's full of shit. Like if you're sitting over here talking about group economics, guess what? That is a conservative view. That's why they say historically black people were what? Conservative.
Right.
So, but you said we were conservative to a certain degree. See, if a dude is gay, we don't just. I said If a dude is gay, I'm like, conservatives don't have a problem with that.
Mm.
The whole thing about it was that they did not want gay marriage because they knew that they was going to flip the goalposts. Now they trying to put an agenda on your black boys. Your black boys are being effeminized right now.
Mm-hmm.
And now you finna have this man, and he already said his priorities is Biden's campaign, he got it already written out, and his priority is LGBTQ. His priority is strictly film.
Shoot.
And I'm like, y'all literally finna give his keys to this man. I was like, okay, and y'all complain that the homosexuals are taking y'all jobs, like, and you talking about they don't have the type of skills that you have. Well, guess what? You vote on their interests when they don't even give you no type of interest, when they don't give you the tangibles. See, they fun. See, one thing about it is the solidarity that comes from the Rainbow Coalition is that they know what they want. And they sit on here and they come together. That's how they was able to get that gay marriage passed. Like, it wasn't federal. They went to the Supreme Court for that.
Okay.
That was judicial. So I'm like, they knew where to go throughout their whole situation. I'm like, and they got tangibles back for it. Jason Black told y'all what the tangibles are the Democrats giving or bringing to black people. Ice Cube said the same thing. What tangibles are we giving for us to get our vote? Well, we just don't want you to face out there, man. I'm like, oh my gosh, for real?
Well, yeah, on a slightly different note, since we brought up Ice Cube, we'll go ahead and give a shout out to Mad Head Doctor. Mad Head Doctor, he basically had a comment under one of my other videos, man, where I was kind of grilling Sean James because Sean James has so much to say about what Ice Cube had done, you know what I mean? And the theme of my podcast was I was kind of sick of these sideline niggas, man, sitting on the side talking crazy about cats that's in the game, you know, actually playing the game and trying to do something, you know what I mean? Just like these Sean James niggas, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, look, man, if you ain't gonna get on the battlefield, man, shut up. You know what I mean? You ain't never employed nobody. You ain't got no real businesses as far as a tangible business. You know what I mean? You might be writing books, but you know what I mean? You ain't signing no checks. You know what I mean? Like show us what you really working with, son. You know what I mean? And so Mad Head Doctor got on and he basically said that we have a right to question everyone who so-called goes to bat for us or speaks on our behalf. And I'm like, look, man, you totally misunderstanding what I'm telling you here, man. See, what Mad Head Doctor seems to be thinking is, I don't know, I guess he wants to be oppositional just for the sake of being oppositional. You know what I mean? I don't have no problem with anyone questioning Ice Cube if he had something in his contract with Black America that was kind of like askew, that didn't make any sort of sense. You know what I mean? But everything that I seen in it made sense. You know what I mean? So for me to be in opposition to him in his plan and to be in opposition to him actually meeting with political figures to actually make it pop, it just doesn't make any sense to me. But you got a lot of cats out there, man, who just want to be oppositional just for the sake of being oppositional. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's not that I'm saying that no one deserves or no one is above being questioned. I'm just saying, man, you got cats out here that's questioning folks. That, I mean, I gotta go on record and say, yeah, there are some folks, man, that they should just shut up, man. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, your resume is boo-boo, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, for anyone to listen to a Sean James, you know what I mean? Like, nigga, you don't want to come out your house. You scared of broads, nigga. Like how are you gonna sit here and educate me on anything in life? You know what I mean? You ain't even living life. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's just my personal, you know what I mean? That's how I gets down, man. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, Negroes, don't be oppositional just for the sake of being oppositional. Don't be coming against Ice Cube just because you just want to just come against him because you ain't got shit to do. That's what it seemed like to me, because I didn't see any rhyme or reason for it. You know what I mean? It's obvious that he's trying to put in good work. And my boy Vector hit me up, and he said T.I. just went through the same thing. You familiar with the T.I. shit where he was going to bat for some brothers and sisters at a sushi bar? Have you heard about that? Huh?
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard about that through my IG, because they was sitting over here on it, and like I said, everybody is attacking. See, remember when we did the podcast about the brothers overseas, and I was telling you brothers have an issue because they need to check their own misandry?
Right.
That's what I mean by that as well. You have a black man who's sitting over here going to bat for you to put our agenda down.
Right.
And my thing is that the fact that you do not see that it's beneficial to you shows that two things. It's the programming of that matriarch is just so strong that you do not want to pull out of it. Which, and my thing is, let's say hypothetically, if Biden them get into office, you finna see that pull right into your faces.
Right.
You finna see that pull, so you cannot deny that it's not there. 3, they don't like to see black men, making moves like that. And I've been seeing the whole thing with Sean James, and I try to give him the benefit of a doubt, but I'm like, dude, you have an issue with well-influential males.
Right.
You really do have an issue with dudes who's out here making something shake, out here moving real situations. My thing, no heterosexual black man should have came after T.I. or Ice Cube.
No doubt.
My thing is down the and don't be surprised down the line that they're gonna try to drag that man. They're gonna probably drag that man for Players Club, sitting over talking about, that was some nostalgia because of the strippers and shit. Even though he put Lisa Ray on. So my whole thing is that just be on the lookout for that. They're gonna try to drag this man. Like anytime when you have people like Bill Cosby and other who did stuff for the black community, just know that, man, your deed is going to go punished, man. Mm-hmm. And my thing is, it's crazy thinking, but your black people, man, I say that, and I hate to say this, white supremacy won't get you. Your own people will. Mm-hmm. People talk about white supremacy. Nah. Your own people gonna kill you off before white supremacy ever did, and that's the one thing that white folks have over that they already know, because it's true.
Well, let me
Go ahead, my bad.
Oh yeah, let me just give a little bit of background about the T.I. shit, just in case cats are kind of wondering about that. T.I., I think this is down in Atlanta. There was a brother and sister that went to a sushi bar, and they were wearing gym shoes. And the people that was running the sushi bar said that they couldn't dine there because they had tennis shoes on. But there was, I guess, a white woman there eating in the establishment with tennis shoes on. And they were like, well, what's up with that? You know what I mean? You kicking us out, but, you got this white girl with the tennis shoes on. Something to that effect. Yep. So T.I. got wind of that, you know what I mean? And he called the sushi bar owners on the carpet and said, hey, what's up with this? And he actually had a face-to-face meeting with him, and he was like, no, this ain't cool. He's like, you're gonna have to you got to bend the knee. You're gonna have to apologize for this, and you're gonna have to make concessions. You're gonna have to give some tangibles to basically apologize to these people or something. And something weird happened. Something got lost in translation. I guess the brother and sister that who were the so-called objects of the harassment, they got mad at T.I. because T.I. didn't go to them first and ask them about what they wanted, or
but it wasn't his job or place to do that. That's what I told people.
Yeah. It's like, it wasn't your job, it ain't your place, and all this, and I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so, man, you can't fix stupid, man. You know what I mean? You got to to me, it's really all predicated upon your intention. The brother's intentions was honorable. Now, T.I. ain't necessarily one of my favorite cats, man, because I mean, he said a lot of stuff, you know, because he's an anti-Trumper too. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really rock with
Mm.
that nigga, man. You know, so for as far as I'm concerned, he kind of low key getting his just desserts because he's trying to be honorable. He's trying to do the right thing, and he's getting grilled for it. And that's the same vein I see with Trump. Trump has tried to be honorable. He's tried to do the right thing. He's tried to extend an olive branch, hold his hand out to the black community, and black folks steady shitting on him. You know what I mean? So really, you know, this is kind of, hey, you know, like I say, it's karma, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Now you
Yeah.
see what it feel like. You out there, you trying to you putting your best foot forward, trying to help black folks, and now you getting shit on. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's crazy. It's like who are you to speak for me? You shouldn't have done. I'm like, damn. I'm like, really? Okay, so you know that's really what's going on with the Ti situation for anyone who was wondering what that
Mm.
was about. Mm.
Yeah, man. And my thing is, my thing is that was honorable, and I have my disagreements with Ti and everything else. But that was an honorable thing that he did, man.
Right.
Because most people would have just shrugged that off and would have just let that shit go,
Right.
when knowing that that was dead wrong. And that's the type of attitude and things that masculinity that we need in the community. But for people to sit over here and criticize that, that's why I say, you know, I'm also a progressive, and people are not, you know, you like, people love to be stagnant to where they are. That's why I say people just like the chaos. It's not, people don't like no progress. I'm like, people just coming up in here bitching, and then just hear it on YouTube, and when you ask them, well, are you putting boots to the ground? Are you sitting over here, you know, handling your business and stuff? Are you sitting over here calling shit out? Are you sitting over here identifying the problem? Just like the whole thing, I don't know if you heard Friday, the King Von situation. He got killed.
Okay.
Some up and coming rapper out of Chicago.
All right.
And it ended up being a shootout with another, and I think Quando Rondo. I don't know if he got shot or hit, but because he was with the same crew. But they said it was over. Supposedly somebody getting their chain snatched or something like that. Fight started inside, came out, and then you can see the video of them shooting and shit. And homeboys ran. Like, these are your wolves that you feed, but y'all sat right there and y'all ran. And just sitting over here talking about what the police can come and get. The ambulance will come and get him. And I was like, and my thing is that shit like that, especially Chicago, one, you guys married Lori Lightfoot, she ain't shit. So when you look at what needs to be placed in the community when it comes to like masculinity and family structure, I don't understand why people will try to fight against it. I'm like, look at what's going on. That shooting should have been well prevented.
Right.
Well prevented, even though it happened in my city, which that's a Democrat-ran city, and our mayor is a woman, Keisha Lance Bottom. And that city is getting gentrified as hell. It takes it back to where I say that, you know, it all forms together when it goes into the election with Trump, when people saying that they leave a city and they're going to vote the same. No, they do not. That shithole, the city that they spent hell of years in, sitting over here dealing with despair, sitting over here dealing with jealousy, over here dealing with anger and rage that's still in their community, that's in their proximity. That takes a toll on your mind. That affects your psyche, and that things, and it gives you a jaded view on life and different other things. So when they leave, they don't vote on the same thing that they left. That's why I say it all comes back together. That's why I was like, nah. I was like, hey, it didn't matter if Trump was in there right there. I think, you know, my life hasn't changed. My thing is a little bit of it got better. Hell, I didn't even have to pay no. I'm an owner-operator truck driver. I ain't have to pay no taxes for 2 years. Why? Because I got all the write-offs.
Okay.
I got all the write-offs. My fuel covered majority of the taxes that I had to owe. Why? because I pay like $75-something thousand annually for my fuel.
Okay.
My per diem is up there to 20-something thousand. If you add that together, that's almost $100,000. You know good and well I'm not gonna pay no taxes.
Damn.
So, and I make well over $100,000. So I mean, my thing is that yeah, he may not. When you look at it, people's talking about, well, what has he done? I said, well, you don't look at it what the tangibles as the people. I'm like, but I was able to infiltrate a platform or an industry where I can come up in. And that's the thing. The Democrats not even giving you a platform, nothing else for you to come up in. They just selling you false hope.
Man.
You sitting over here, you got people out here attacking each other. And like I said, that's that programming for being in that liberal state of being, man. And
Yeah.
I'm like, and I had to get away for it. And my thing was, and I was on the Obama Kool-Aid. I'm gonna be, and a lot of black folks was until some people seen the view and see what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like I don't have that jaded view towards the opposition, the other side anymore. Like that's gotten out of my head. That's why I say that I'm independent and I'll pull for certain things for both parties. My thing is, am I anti-liberal? My thing is, certain liberal things that they have good things that they that's on their side, like free health care, free education. My thing is, but there are some liberals views that I don't also agree with, which is that feminization.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing with putting LGBTQ over, the whole, the race of people. My thing is that I don't rock with that. I mean, with the there's a lot of views with the conservative. That's why I said we're pragmatic. So my whole thing is that, man, if they can just if people can just really let their emotions like go, and they can see over and see the bigger picture, man. I mean, like, you will do all right, but it's like I said, people they just live for chaos. There's no real change. When people sitting over there talking about they want change in what they see fit, what they think change is. And when you ask them about it, you'll find out later on throughout the conversation that shit is just as narcissist and just like it just be on some other shit, and you be like, nah, that's not change. That's just something that your selfish narcissist ass wants. When you talking about, well, I think such and such change, talking about, when they talk, like a great example when DW, right, when they say, when talking about family, what they mean really is that women and children.
Right.
The man is really disposable.
Yep.
So my thing is that when you sitting over talking about family, you're not even thinking about the man. Why? Because you're just rebellious to the man. My thing is how 80% of your divorces are initiated by women. That just really shows that y'all really didn't even want the marriage. You ain't really thinking about the family.
Mm.
So when y'all talk about family, y'all can get on about that. When you're sitting over here talking about you want change within the family structure. No, you don't want change in the family structure. What you want is control and power.
Man.
That's the change that you want.
Mm.
So that's why I say when you start having conversations about them, it's really just some selfish, indicative, self-loathing, and I mean, it's just when people talk about the country going to be divided, I'm like, it's already divided. Y'all, this shenanigan that y'all pull is already going to be a divide. So my thing is, y'all can take that unity, community. I'm like, y'all don't even have unity within the community. Like this shooting just happened with King Von. Like, come on. And then and I already know what's going to happen. You even got his ex. She's a rapper named Asia Doll, sitting over here talking about all I date is killers and shit. And I say, oh, so ironic that you say that and your ex got killed outside the club.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you definitely got to vote your interest, man. You got to vote your interest.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, one of my partners who's a liberal, the main reason he voted for Biden was because he's not satisfied with the health care. He wants socialized healthcare, and he wants an emphasis on green energy. You know what I mean? And the fact that Biden seems to relish locking black men up, and he doesn't really care about that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's like, why do I care if Jaquan gets locked up? I'm like, oh my god, man. I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? You know, he sees a definite disconnect or division between him and brothers that get locked up. I'm like, man, you just a hop, skip, and a jump from getting locked up in America, man. You're like, they got laws upon laws about how it's easy to lock your ass up, man. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Yeah. And when a lot of people, when they sit over here, and I'm like, and I kind of figured out it was going to come too, because really, man, when they start running in the Democrat side, I already knew. My thing is, I already knew Kamala wasn't going to make it back then.
Right.
And the fact that it was going down to him and Bernie, Joe and Bernie. And my thing is Bernie, he was a little bit too much socialist. So I was like, and so I guess that's why when it comes with Biden, and my thing is also Biden is out of Delaware, you know, the former senator. He comes out of the New England region. So when people talk about, oh, they're going to suspend your college debt, I'm like, no, it's not. If you look at it, Biden is in one of the highest regions with credit card, MasterCard, Visa, all that is relegated in New England. All the headquarters is up there. American Express, Discovery, that's up there in New England. So credit card companies, he's very aware and very in those circles. And that's known but debt. He actually embraced you to get into more debt. So my thing is the fact that you think he's going to cancel your student loans and stuff. See, that was what Bernie was for. See, if you want to cancel that, see, that's why people don't understand policy and what they was actually saying at the debate. If you wanted your student loans or loans in general to be freaking canceled or forgiven, that's what Bernie was for. But that's why I say he was way too socialist, and people did not want that to happen. One, the banks are going to take a big hit, and they can. They can't take a big hit on that. So the thing is that with Biden, y'all sitting over talking that mess. No, it's not. That's not going to happen. Your student loans will never be forgiven. Sorry, especially if you owe, for the women who owns like 50,000 or more. You know, women are more in debt than anybody else. So you definitely not. That thrives the economy. What makes you think they're going to cancel it?
Right, no doubt.
So my thing is, when you hear people talk that mess, I'm like, and you hit them with the facts, or you hit them with it just be so easy. That's why I say I learned a lot from you and Tony, BGS, everybody in the manosphere, and I start researching this stuff, and we're literally 5 years, 10 years ahead of everybody. When we have these conversations online and we start sharing notes, the things that we see in the environment, you will find out when you take that stuff and you start showing it to people in real time, you will see that they're literally babies with their thoughts.
Yeah.
They're literally like children with their thoughts.
Yes, they are.
You'll be like, God damn.
Yeah, a lot of cats don't realize how valuable, I guess you could say, the manosphere has been in that regard.
You said that the manosphere is what?
I said a lot of people don't really realize just how valuable the manosphere has been because of these conversations in that regard.
Yeah, most definitely. And I've always said when people say that the manosphere is dead and I say no, because I said there's a reason why men congregate here. Yes, people on some bullshit with these arguments and stuff that we keep having and stuff. I won't go into detail with those, but you already know. But my thing is that no, the manosphere is valuable, and it's valuable especially to black men. Want to know why? Because each time that, especially this election and stuff, that black men, they can see it in their faces, and when they go online and see other brothers talking about it, now that's just more people, sharing notes. it's more of people who's delivering the same experience that we have and seeing the bullshit for what it is. That's why I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I believe that people like Q and people out here making moves, they have been listening to the manosphere.
Okay.
If you listen to their talking points, they got their cues from us.
Okay.
That's why I was saying that Q, I firmly believe that he's been talking in the background and off the raps and behind the scenes to Dr. Claude Anderson.
Right.
I really believe that. That's how he ended up forming that plan.
Okay.
He really has been, you know, they really, like, we are literally making a difference out here. So for people sitting over here want to tear the shit down, no, and it's going to thrive and it's going to continue to get bigger. How do I know? By looking at that number, 20% of black men voted for Trump. And last year it was 12. That ought to tell you something. That ought to, and it's going to get bigger. That's why I say wait until the next election, 2 election cycles. I wouldn't be surprised if black men voted Republican 40%, right around that ballpark.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, man. Ice Cube, he's getting a lesson right now. He's definitely getting a lesson as far as the collective consciousness and the psyche of black folks, man. I know he is thinking to himself, why am I even bothering? You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, Ice Cube, he good. He got money. You know what I mean? He ain't got to put his neck on the chopping block, man. You know, but you got these nothing-ass sideline niggas out here got so much to say about somebody that's actually putting in that work, man. I'm like, good Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, shout out to Ice Cube, man. You know, do your thing. Don't kill yourself. Don't martyr yourself for these niggas, man. If it get too hot in the kitchen, man, just step out. Just bow out, man, because it ain't worth it, dog, for real. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you see it with this election. You know, you got niggas, you know, rocking with Biden at their detriment. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Everything points away from being advantageous as far as I'm concerned, you know, to vote for Biden. You know what I mean? There ain't no, not one positive in it. You know what I mean? But niggas want Biden because they just orange man bad. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, dog. Shit, so, yeah, we're going to wrap this up, though, man. We're going to wrap this up. We're going to go ahead. I want you to give me your closing thoughts on this, man. You think Trump is going to get some rhythm here? You think he's going to be... Is he still going to be our president, or are they going to go ahead and give him his walking papers?
Well, my thing is, it's two things that this way can go. They provide the evidence and everything else in the Supreme Court. My thing is, if we look at it that way, he actually has a leverage, because like I said, the Supreme Court, my bad, has been flipped. And that's because them getting Amy Barrett, I believe they already foreseen this coming. So that's why they got her, and she's going to be up there because she dealt with that same. She was in that whole situation back in 2000 with Al Gore and George Bush. That's why I say it's playing itself over again. So we already see the script. We already see that it was some finesse going on. My thing is that it does not make sense that Georgia turned blue when the goddamn governor won his state, who's a Republican.
Weird.
I mean, with Mr. Perdue, I mean, he won his state. So I'm like, wait a second. So how? It just don't make any sense. So he can take that route. And my thing is, let's say hypothetically speaking, that Biden and Kamala, you know, ends up getting in there. You're dealing with Trump's America now. You're dealing with Trump America. So all that shit that y'all was giving hell to Trump about, oh, you best believe they're going to give that tenfold because they believe that you literally took their votes.
Right.
And it don't even matter. I mean, they try, just like how we can't get to people's goals, you can't get through theirs. Which theirs is more of a logical reason. So you're going to be dealing with that. You best believe that the Senate is going to be blocking. They're going to be caught blocking whatever policy Joe's going to come up with. They're going to, Mitch McConnell. And my thing is that people got like Mitch McConnell ain't got no power. kid. Watch.
Okay.
That son of a gun. You can pretty much call Mitch McConnell a damn plutocrat because that's what he is.
Okay.
So my thing is that you really finna see some hurt feelings. Black people, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, man. You voted for Biden. My thing is, hey, you're gonna reap what you sow. Because if you think that they talk about their crime bill, of course they're gonna tell y'all that they're trying to do the prison reform and all that. That's just emotion. That's just for you to vote for them. That's just for something. They're gonna be on the same shit that they were before. And now you got two criminal justice, who do not fuck with black men. It's gonna be on steroids, and then you finna have feminists, left-leaning feminists, coming after you, which is your women, talk about we told you so, you weak, you da 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 da. They're gonna be Cynthia G 2.0 times.
Ooh, don't say that.
3 times. Oh God, man, Mike, you already on social media and already seeing that, man.
Right.
Hey, the black women are already taking credit for the damn vote, even though 80% of black men voted for Biden. They already taking credit for putting them in there.
Okay.
They already doing it. So my whole thing is that black men, man, hey man, like I said, and for those who's sitting over here that's on the pragmatic side, that's striving for black male independence, shout out to Dr. Ron O'Neal, shout out to Dr. Tia Johnson, and shout out to Dr. Tommy Curry. You got to get his book, Man Not. Oh my gosh. Shout out to him, shout out to DGS, shout out to Angry Man, shout out to Elwood Anderson, Ty City, man, all y'all out here putting in some work, man. And shout out to our Max City players, King Issa Ali, Goku, freaking B Money. That's who I left out. My boy B Money, man. Man, salute to everybody. Salute to Tony Maceo, man. I know he's gonna come behind and do a recap on the election, and I know he's gonna come with more facts, and so y'all niggas, I'm gonna say this, welcome to communist niggas if they get in there. You niggas is fucked.
Man, boy, no doubt. Hey, once again, man, letting y'all know, man, for everybody that's confused on the issue. Hey, I'm Big Mike, man, and I fucks with Trump, nigga. You know what I mean? I'm like one of them brothers that ain't scared to let you know. You know what I mean? And I'm not no Republican, and I damn sure ain't no goddamn Democrat, man. But, I rocks with everybody, man. Even if you voted for Biden, I'm not so jaded that I still can't sit down and have a drink with you, man. You know what I mean? It ain't that serious with me. So for all of you goofy fucks coming in my shit, man, I might be on that childish shit and want to leave something funny down in the comments section because your boy is so-called the president-elect now, Biden. Look, man, be respectful when you come over here, man, or I'm going to just block and ban you. You know what I mean? If you got something constructive to say, go ahead and put it down in the comments section. And I might converse with you about it. You know what I mean? But to me, once again, it ain't that serious. It's really not that serious, man. We can all get along with this shit. Even if, like I said, I think you kind of squirrely and kind of ass backwards for voting for Biden. But, yeah, hey, you got to have your reasons, man. And those reasons, they must be important to your partner. You know what I mean? Whether it's because of his policies or whether you just hate Trump. And if that's what's important to you in life, just hating Trump and just voting Biden just to spite Trump, then nigga, do you, okay? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is Big Mike, Almighty Triple XL, coming at y'all live and direct. Max City Limits. I don't know if Tony gonna jump on here. Like my boy Pharaoh said, typically when issues like this jump up, Tony can't help himself. You know what I mean? He usually likes to get on issues like this, man. But if you want more content like this, go ahead and join up to the Patreon, www.patreon.com/Max City Limits. Man, I don't know, man. You could either hit me up on my Cash App. Cash App will be down in the description box, or the PayPal. whatever you want, man. You know what I mean? I don't make no living off this joint, man. I pay some bills every now and then, but it's just nice to know that cats appreciate a brother. That's all. So with that being said, without further ado, we're gonna bounce up out of here, and I'll thank my partner, man, Pharaoh, coming on over here. It's always nice to hear from you, man. You be surprising me with your worldly knowledge, man, because you schooled me on some things as far as the politics is concerned, because politics is not my strong suit. I ain't gonna front with cats, man. Knowing about Congress and Senate and all that shit. I don't know about all that shit, man. I'm street like a motherfucker, man. My thing has always been philosophy, religion, and just things of that nature, man. But politics, not so much, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for coming on over here. And I don't know, you about to chime in on something?
Oh no, I just say each time, just remember, just every time in the election time,
Yeah.
just remember electoral college. That's going to be based on when that electoral college hits. It's based on your Congress. It's based on your Senate and your House and how many got elected in. They're the ones who decide who gets in. My thing is, when people say your vote count, this is the thing. This is the last thing. This is the thing when people say your vote count. Your vote doesn't really count primary because it's popular votes. It's two different kinds. The popular vote, electoral college. Yes, your vote matters when the Senate and the Congress and everybody, when they run, then they choose. That's when your vote really counts.
Okay.
But this whole thing with popular votes, nah, that's all that was, and that's what it looked like those numbers was looking like. Because the electoral college, they had that already counted. They already conceded. Trump, and when they said landslide, it was actually Trump who won that shit by a landslide. At the end of the day.
At the end of the day. All right, man. Well, once again, this is Big Mike, Almighty, Triple XL, the Fat Maxton, coming at you live and direct, Max City Limits Radio Show, along with my special guest, Pharaoh Edmondson. And we out, and we out, and we out, and we out.